Today is 970th day. I'm here to lessons and learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about people. People are unique and common at the same time. Today I speak about thoughts that people have. And a lot of thoughts are very specific and unique per person. But some thoughts are very, very common. Every single person has those thoughts, or majority of people have those thoughts. So what it shows that every single person is unique, but at the same time common. And it's a very beautiful thing that every single person is unique, but at the same time is common, because we always find people like ourselves. So today we'll share some thoughts that every single person has in common majority of the time, and what it shows about us. Because I think that we understand that we are very, very similar in a lot of different ways. Are independent, unique, but at the same time very, very common. And I think that really allows us to really seek relationships, seek networking, feel that nurture those relationships, because we understand how common we are. So number one is the thought that is very, very common is imagining maybe embarrassing scenarios that potentially you can visualize yourself doing the things that you're not supposed to do, or doing things that is awkward, something awkward. Maybe you did in the past, maybe you think about the future, but it's just really visualizing doing something awkwardly, embarrassing scenarios. And that is very common. I know, again, this is, some people say, oh yeah, that's exactly what they do. And some people, no, I never done it. But again, this is majority of people, what they do, what they kind of thought they have. Second thing is that, what if reality is fake? That's a beautiful movie, The Matrix. It's a very beautiful movie. And I don't know, for me, I always used to question it as well. Are we really in some kind of matrix? And we're supposed to be able to open our eyes and see that, okay, this is not actual world. We are just living in some kind of made up world. Or it's just a conspiracy theory that we are living in a matrix. So if it's really reality, it's a fake, maybe it's a dream. Those kind of questions is quite interesting to ponder, because we will never get that answer. Maybe we'll get, but I don't think that we will get in a near future. Number third is inappropriate thoughts in serious situations. Inappropriate thoughts in serious situations. Sometimes our thoughts are wandering around. So we are in some very serious situation, but our thoughts starts to think about things that not supposed to think. And it could be weird, there's things you could be in a funeral, it can be running, and those thoughts that you have in that moment is making you feel, why are you thinking those kind of weird thoughts? I think that every single person sometimes is not able to really control their thoughts, and those thoughts coming from the universe, from subconscious mind, because subconscious mind wants to have some weird thought, and you have them. And that's it. And then sometimes you just try to really direct your thoughts to something more meaningful. But that's what it is. Sometimes you just really, you're not able to control what kind of ideas or thoughts coming to your way. Number 4 is contemplating alternative universes. Contemplating alternative universes. I do that all the time. I was thinking, okay, what kind of person I am in other universe? Because I love life. I love seeing that there's so many different things to do, and I would love to do this one, I would love to do this one, I would love to learn 5 languages, I would love to really do different kind of sports, I would love to do different kind of activities, I would love to sing, I would love to dance. I love doing a lot of things, and I think that sometimes it's not good either, because you need to choose. You need to choose between a lot of great things. And I'm okay to give away a lot of things for the main and most important things. But at the same time, I would love to have multiple lives, just understand, okay, how my life will look like if I could have this choice, this decision. And those alternative universes, for me, it sounds such an interesting idea, because you're able to see how my life looks like when I made a decision, this choice. And really how that everything turned out. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thought. Number 5 is mind reading. I think that is a beautiful vessel when you're going through the life, and when you really live put your phone away, put it in a pocket, and you really walk in a street and start looking to different people. the number one thing that I always think about is what other person is trying to think. So trying to mind read, try to visualize and really think about, okay, what that person is thinking. Maybe they're thinking about this one, maybe they're thinking about this one. I don't know, for me really, I like this activity, trying to understand what people think about. So like, I think that you're able to be present, you're able to look at other people, you're able to appreciate them, you're able to see how they look, how they work, how fast they walk. And you're able to really think about, okay, maybe they're rushing because they're late to work. Maybe they have a bad day. Maybe have an amazing day. And I think that being able to really mind read is a beautiful thing. Number 6 is catastrophic what ifs. And that means that you could eventually think that what if like a massive wave could come in the beach and destroy all the buildings? What if this tornado come in? Maybe what if the plane crashes? And those catastrophic could be going in a plane, and that having that what if scenario could be scary if you're going to a plane. Like, what if this plane will crash in the mountain, crash in the beach? What if? And you're visualizing that moment when you're really trying to grab your vest and go into the water and visualizing and asking that question. It could be, if you're asking too many times, it could be actually start becoming scary. Number 7 is deja vu. Deja vu. That means that it might be that you feel the same moment. I felt quite a few times. It seems that I'm waiting for someone to say exactly the words, and it exactly as that person says at the moment. That deja vu moment is a very, very interesting thing. Being understanding, okay, I really thought that will happen, and it happened. It seems that I'm living again. It looks that some kind of glitch in the matrix that we already thought about. And those glitches is showing that we are not living in reality, but we're living in matrix. So deja vu is a very interesting moment in our lives, and I have felt quite a few times. I don't remember one last time, but I think that deja vu moment is very interesting to feel. Number 8 is making up stories about strangers. That means that you're able to really create some kind of stories about people that you're able to see in the street, and then again you're able to see mind read what they're thinking, but at the same time you're able to create stories about them. You're able to create, okay, what they are doing, what they're working on, what kind of dreams they have, and really try to really visualize their whole life, rather not just mind read, but really how they live their life and who they are, and really create stories about them. Number 9 is self-dialogue. That means that really having that conversation with yourself, maybe in your thoughts, maybe in really out loud, but really having conversation with yourself. Because there's someone that said that, I don't remember who said it, that sometimes it's very, very important to speak with someone very intelligent. And that means with yourself in the mirror. And then, of course, that person is very intelligent, and of course is still learning, improving, and get better, just to make sure that you're able to have that conversation even smarter. Number 10 is existential questions. What is the purpose? What is the meaning of all of this? I think that every single person has those questions, existential questions. I think that is probably the most common thing of all. Understanding the purpose, the meaning, why everything is here, or just living the life. It's not that every single person would potentially how many times they ask questions. Some person could ask like very, very often, some people less, but every single person I truly that asks the question, what is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose? And I think that is very, very common to everyone. And then I think that's when you're starting that everyone is the same, that unique and special. At the same time, you're able to really value people much more. And I truly believe that we were created in God's image. That's my faith, and of course everyone has their own faith. But because we are created in God's image, we have capability to really think very similarly because we are so similar. But at the same time, we are unique because we have free will, and we're able to create our lives. Because God, being created in God's image, that means that you have the free will to create anything. You create your own world. You're able to create something that is so beautiful. You're able to influence other people's lives because you're able to create something extraordinary. So what is that's really common between people? And the number one are just what's really able to learn from those commonalities and uniqueness that our mind is very, very complex, and we're able to create a lot of different things that we're able to really think. So imagination and creativity. So that means that every single person has massive imagination, massive creativity, and that imagination, creativity creates those thoughts, creates those ideas we're able to use. And it might be that the different people have less or more imagination and they have more thoughts or like mind reading. Maybe they're able to visualize other people's stories even more because they have that massive imagination. Number three is like common humanity. Like as I said, this is that every single person has something in common. Every single person. I think that sometimes we are always looking for differences. But when we start looking for similarities, I think that's where we're able to really build a community of belonging. Because, okay, let's look into what are the vision. What are the vision? Okay, let's build our vision. Let's build our community around the vision. So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter who are your parents. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you having the same vision for this community? I think that is the beautiful part. Number 4 is curiosity and wonder. That means that every single person has curiosity and wonder. It means that we're curious about life, we're curious about where we came from, we're curious about where we're going, we're curious about so many things, and wonder what is more outside of what we know. But there's so much more that we do not know, and you're never able to say that that's for sure. It for sure it's not there. We're not able to say that it's for sure this is reality. It's for sure there's no God. We're not able to say those things. There is nothing in life that is for sure. Only facts. Some facts are like we're able to say, but there's some things that are we're able to really visualize, imagine. You're not able to really guarantee that it is or is not. And that's why because of that, we're able to really visualize and think about it. Number 5 is anxiety and fear. That means that all those thoughts, all those catastrophic what ifs, really could potentially create stress and anxiety because everything is with moderation is great. But if you start to catastrophizing everything, at some point that it could create a lot of anxiety and stress, and we need to be very careful. Every single person really thinks about what if, because that is an amazing tool to have. Because if you're really able to think like what if, so that means you're able to prepare what if plan. What if plan. So what if this happens, then I will do this. If this happens, I will do this. So that means that preparation allows to really feel more prepared, confident that you're able to persevere. But if you don't have solution for what if, of course, and you're out of control, that could create massive anxiety. Number 6 is self-reflection. So it means that when we're able to really look into all those thoughts, that leads to a long time self-reflection. How we are living this life, how we belong to this life, what kind of purpose and meaning I have for my own life, and reflection regarding their looking how other people live, and you're able to look into your own life, you look into your internal life, and really having those thoughts, allowing you to really reflect on yourself even more. Number 7 is humor and awareness. Humor and absurdity. That means that it could be that you live your life and you have so absurd moments, absurd thoughts, absurd and really humor. And I think that a lot of times when we're able to really have those thoughts, those absurd and humorous thoughts, we're able to share them with other people and have laugh. And laugh is an amazing thing, because laugh is when you share it, that expands. And that, of course, is very, very important to have those thoughts, to have the creativity, to have that humor that you're able to share. And other people are very great at it. And you just, when people see it, share their humors, share the ideas, share their thoughts, you say, wow, how they came up with such a small thing that everyone knows, but they're not able to see, and we're able to really start to see that how humorous it is. Number 8 is existential awareness. That means that every single person potentially could look into, okay, what are the existential awareness? What is the purpose? What is the meaning of all of this? Because, as I said, if we're able to really look into that, it could really allow us to really build that spiritual health. But at the same time, if we look into too much, we still could really get into that moment when that existentialism and understanding that why we exist in the first place. Because every single person exists for different reasons. I truly believe it. Some people have a reason. In my life, I truly believe that some people are created on this earth to really have a much bigger purpose than people think about. I think that sometimes people come on earth to teach someone else. I think that God has a purpose for every single person. I truly believe that every single person has free will, but at the same time, I truly believe that sometimes people are for one reason, and one reason is to teach some person a lesson. That person a lesson. That means that it could be that you are sent for one person, that one person that you want to really give that lesson. You never know that. We will never know who are they. Some people are built to really impact thousands of people. Some people are built to impact one person, but massive lesson. That they could really learn that massive lesson and then they transform thousands of people because of that. I truly believe that we are sent to send a message. That means we're able to impact thousands and millions of people through one person. And there's a big, massive thing. But potentially could be not direct impact, but indirect. We teach one person that lesson, and that one person will teach millions. And that's a massive thing. Number 9 is empathy and theory of mind. So being able to understand that every single person has a mind, every single person has thoughts, and because you understand that every single person has very similar thoughts, or very single anxieties, very simple understanding that we're going through the same thought processes, that allows us to really have that empathy. Empathy is a big thing. Because a lot of times people don't want to have a conversation. I feel uncomfortable initiating conversation. Another person feeling the same way. I feel uncomfortable initiating conversation. Now two people stand by each other. Both of them want to speak. Both of them want to connect. But because both of them, they're thinking, oh, I would love to have a conversation, but I just don't want to initiate. And those two people never speak to each other because both of them are afraid to initiate conversation. And I think that when you start to understand that every single person feels the same way, you are not afraid to really initiate conversation. At the same time, you're able to say, okay, I have the empathy towards other person. And if other person doesn't want to speak, there's a lot of people who will want. And the last one that we need to understand that we have very flexible thoughts. That means that you are thinking one thing, and in a month you potentially could really rebuild your thought process if you are very selective on your thoughts. That means that you are able to be very flexible because you're able to put new inputs in your mind. Because they're saying that outputs is coming from your inputs. If you're putting in a juice maker oranges, you will not get lemon juice. If you're putting in a juice maker oranges, you will not get the lemon juice. You will get orange juice. Exactly the same in our mind with our thoughts. If you're putting some great books, seminars, podcasts that really elevate your mind, you will not put out garbage. But if you listen to your garbage, you will not put some great words. And I think that it depends on what we listen to. That's what kind of thoughts we'll have. And I think that that's why a lot of times we have very similar thoughts, because we listen to very similar things. And that's why sometimes you need to detach from the things that you do not like, include more things that you really want to be like. And when you start listening all the time, the same materials, you're able to change your thought process and really start to think and start to speak and start to think about the things that really think that people like you want to be. And I think that's why it's very important. Understand that when you really want to change your association, when you want to change your thoughts, so that means that you want to make sure that you have the inputs. Those inputs lead to different kind of outputs. And those outputs will dictate what kind of association you have, because what you speak will dictate with whom you connect. And when you connect with different people, you start to get even more input and then different thoughts coming in again. So it's a big cycle of thought-changing machine. And I think that we need to understand that our thoughts is highly influenced by the things that we hear, see, and because of that, we need to be very careful what to listen to and what we see. Because at the end of the day, our thoughts will dictate what we get in life, because our thoughts lead our words, and our thoughts lead with our actions. Our thoughts lead to results that we are getting. So I hope you should reflect that today is Today was a topic that I really just was wandering around and just was thinking about, okay, how we are so similar, how we are different. But at the same time, the main lesson, I guess, of today is that every single person is unique and special, but at the same time, the same. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.